My name is Nifa Nyamongo. This is Triple N Network. Karibu sana. Today we are having our first guest, I would say, in this channel. I want her to introduce herself before I tell you what you're going to speak about.
Hi, my name is Wendy Gachara. I am a content creator. I am a mom to one boy, and I'm really excited to be here.
Karibu sana. So we are going to be talking about motherhood and motherhood in the aspect of autism. Wendy is going to take us through it, basically how her journey has been, because I know there are mothers out there who really want to get this information. Maybe to just give a brief of why I invited her. I have been watching her page like on Instagram, and she shares quite a lot of content about autism and how it is raising a child with autism and all that. And I was really fascinated because of the way she's taken the journey. It makes it look so easy, which might not really be the case, but she's going to tell us more about it. And even for me as a mother to be, this is something that I was really interested in, because it could happen to anyone. It's not something you choose. It could happen to anyone, and I really also wanted to have this information, and I thought it would be good for you guys to also hear it from us. So Wendy, karibu sana. Maybe to just start us off, you can share with us how your pregnancy journey had been. Like maybe we can start from the motherhood part of it.
Okay.
Did you have like a planned pregnancy or not, and how the journey was for you?
I did not have a planned pregnancy. It just happened.
Mm-hmm.
So pregnancy was very easy, actually. Like I remember not having the morning sickness I always used to hear, because that's what I expected. I didn't get excessive or intense symptoms. My pregnancy was very easy, just a bit of tiredness in the first trimester and also in the last, because now that's when I was like really, really tired. Just that my pregnancy was great. Delivery and labor and delivery was also very easy, actually. Not easy, but it was very fast than I expected it. I feel like from the moment I started laboring to giving birth, it went like super fast. I did not labor for long, which was really nice. And I had my baby in my arms, so that whole pregnancy and labor and delivery process wasn't as difficult as I had expected it. It was pretty okay.
All right. So just maybe to take you back a bit, I know we're going to speak more about the autism just as we delve into the topic. I know people say that you can do like an anomaly scan like before your term that can help you know if maybe the kid has any defects or there's anything that is wrong. Did you get to do that or not?
Well, I think by that maybe they just look at the physique of the baby. They look at if the baby has all the
like the arms,
hands,
eyes,
fingers, eyes.
All that,
I think I don't know if they can detect something like that, but I also say that autism is not an abnormality. And you just can't find out. I don't think you can find out even
like before,
even in just when you just deliver the baby and they're in your arms. I don't think that the doctors or the nurses can be able to identify that your baby is autistic or not autistic.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's weird. I thought like there's a way they can know like beforehand, but I think we'll try and get a specialist here who can maybe tell us. We need to get a medic here who can tell us more about this, and if there's a way they get to know it, because I know I have interacted with a few people, and there are people who even their kids get to like 2 years and they don't know, or maybe they're just not aware about it. So anyway, so you've delivered the baby. What next? How was it?
I've delivered the baby. We go home. Yeah, the normal, the hard times, the not sleeping, the depression, the baby blues. I go through it all. I think like every mom has that, moment where they're just like, okay, what's this? It's new, it's hard to adjust, and the multiple wakings and the sleep deprivation. I feel like every woman kind of experiences that. So that was the same for me. And so honestly, King was, a good baby, a healthy baby. He hit his weight milestones when he's supposed to hit them. And the first year, I had no problem. My baby was just okay. We did a lot of Montessori activities, and I felt like he was really interested in actually things like puzzles and playing. We did a lot of play. That time I was home. I didn't go back to work. I was with him, and all we did was just play, and nothing came across my mind.
Like out of the ordinary.
Yeah, everything was fine.
So to you finding out that he's autistic, what happened? Or now, when did you start seeing maybe differences that made you start seeking maybe healthcare or help, or going to therapy and all that?
So I was always waiting for the first word, mom or dad or just something. We used to read a lot, and I'd exposed King to books from like newborn stage. We just always used to look at books, and this one book we used to repeat all the time, and it didn't it didn't sit right with me that he doesn't know even one word, and we keep on repeating, or even mom, dad, milk, anything that we keep on saying in the house.
That was like at how old?
Now that was like after 1.
After 1 year.
After 1, like 14, 15 months there. That's the time that you should be expecting at least a word.
A word or two.
That's what like even your doctor, pediatrician says that around that time you're waiting for a word. Some kids say that even before 1 year, but I was like, okay, I'm just not gonna rush this. So not yet. Then we get to 18 months, that's like 1 year and a half, and we are not saying any words, and not just words that he can't understand what you're saying. Like you could be calling his name and he wouldn't turn. I didn't understand whether he knows his name, or are we confusing him with so many names? But he never got interested. And then he would be in a room full of children, and he will always find a way to be by himself. Like he was always in his own world. He'd be here, but he'll not be here, because you will call him and he would not turn.
No, okay.
He will call him, he would not turn.
Like he's not responding
or now at that time kids, even though they can't talk, you can tell them stop, and they'll look at you and be like, okay, they
just
know
some reaction.
Just some reaction. Or come here. Nothing. He would not comprehend anything. He was just here, but his mind is like in another place. And that's when I started feeling like I don't think this is right, and I just wanted to like know if this is okay. Is he just late? Or I just wanted to know if there's anything wrong. I wanted to know early so that I can get early intervention. Yeah.
All right. So from that point you're noticing, so I'm assuming it's you and your partner. Before maybe you went to seek help, are there other people that you talked to?
Oh yeah.
Like before going to the therapist or the doctor or something like that?
Oh yeah.
Like
friends,
other mothers,
family, other mothers, and no one gets it. And I always say that at the end of the day, you know your child better, and no one caught what I was trying to say. People are just like, King is, just maybe late to talk. My kid talked when he was 5 years old, and now I'm thinking it's not, you're normal. Let me just say, it's normal to talk at 5 years old. You just need to know what is hindering the speech and how you can be able to help your child. So I did talk to a lot of people, and I always felt My feelings were so invalidated.
Like they didn't understand you.
Yeah, not even just externally. Even my husband sometimes was just like, I don't think that's true. Maybe let's just give him time. And then when we started like getting closer to 2 years, then now I just had to tell him like, yo, this is,
like we need to do something.
We need to do something. He would, especially the fact that he wouldn't engage with anyone, like he would just not understand anything you're saying, is that point where I was just like, no, we just need to talk to a specialist.
Okay. Do you think like for him it was more of he was in denial, or because I know sometimes when we are close to people, especially someone that you love, it is always difficult for you to accept, even if the signs are there and you're seeing, and like
I was in denial too. I remember the first few months I actually even looked it online and I was like, the hell?
I was actually coming to that. Like, did you Google?
Autism. I remember just shutting it down. No way, my son doesn't have autism. I even started looking at him, like staring at him, like,
you're just
you look like you're autistic. Like, I don't think so. I was like, no. The first few months I was like, nah. When I talked to my husband, imagine Google is telling me that my son is autistic. I'm like, no way. And the was like, we should stop Googling this stuff. But then, you can, want to believe things, but at the back of your mind, something is just telling you, like, just get this boy evaluated. I felt like there was always something inside me that was telling me, get this child evaluated. Just know what's wrong. Nothing else, just know what's wrong.
Because I wanted to ask about Google, because that's the first place we go to. Like, you feel you're just like, hey, okay, let me check it out. You check. So maybe by the time you're going to the doctor, it's like you have a rough idea of what could be happening. Maybe let me also ask, I know kids go for like these clinics, maybe from 6 weeks and that. They didn't detect anything, or they didn't bring anything up to you that maybe there's some delay, or you need to seek some help?
My pediatrician used to just ask me, is he saying words? I'm like, no. Is he saying any words? I'm like, no. Are you sure? Because she's like, no. I'm like, no. Then she's like, she needs to be saying at least a few words. I mean, that's as far as she told me. It's only about the speech, because everything else looked okay. He was, playful, he'll like, run around, whatever, just like normal toddler behavior. But that speech is like the only thing that was like, not alarming, but it was just like, he needs to be saying some words. So because she's not a specialist, she sent me to a specialist. Though even she was like, well, I don't see the big issue. He might say his words, but just go and get him evaluated. And I was like, okay, I will get him evaluated. And that's when she like referred me to a specialist, and I went.
Okay, so the specialist that you went to is the one that your PID had referred you to?
Yes.
Okay, so the night or the day that you made the decision to go, how was it for you? Anxiety or fear of the unknown?
I think I now really wanted to know. I'd like, for months I'd been battling with the idea, is he autistic, is he not autistic? But something inside me told me, like, I think he's autistic. I kind of believed it even before I knew it, but I just wanted the confirmation. And I remember talking to my sister one day, and I was like, I think he is autistic. And she's like, why are you saying that? Stop saying that. You're the one who's like, no. I'm like, my child is different. Like, I had interacted with so many other small children. And as much as you don't want to compare, but you can't help but see the huge difference. Like, another baby who was actually smaller than King came to my mom's house, and I could tell her, she couldn't talk, but I could tell her, Mama, give me the cup. And she could give me the cup. She was way younger than King. And that's when I started to like know that, my child is like really different. And I just want to know if he's autistic or not. That time I just wanted the answer.
All right. So you went for the evaluation and...
So the first we met the developmental specialist. and just asking us questions which are just protocol. Did you have complications in your birth or whatever? Those are just things that protocol you're asked. Or how is King? Does he spin around the circles? Does he do this? So a bunch of questions that will help her understand. And then after that, she was like, we need to go for a hearing test. That's like procedure. So the hearing test is just to eliminate the chance of any hearing problems. Instead of diagnosing your child with something and maybe they have a hearing problem.
Oh yeah, so maybe that's why they're not able to take instruction
or even talk, listen.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
So we went for the hearing test. I had no doubt I had no doubts about his hearing. So we just went there and we got his results, and he hears very well. So we took that report back in another appointment, and then after that we now booked another appointment for the evaluation. So yeah, the evaluation was just like, you get into a room and you're told to just sit down and not have any interactions with your child. It's only
so
the
both of you in that room?
Yeah.
Okay.
Only the specialist and your child. It's a room full of toys and activities and things to do. So the developmental specialist just wants to know how your child behaves, because autism is like a lot to do with behavior and how they do things. So King gets into the room and he sees a car, and he's just spinning the wheels round and round. But that time King does not have pretend play. He's already 2 and something, and that time you should be looking out for pretend play. Kids like now that time they are pretending to play with toys and cars and having fun. But now King doesn't have pretend play. He's just like obsessed with like wheels spinning round and round. Like we would be in the car and he'll just be looking outside and just wants to see how the wheels spin round and round.
Okay, and round. Yeah, like the way, like if someone else is driving, like the way the wheel just goes
from other cars.
Yes.
Wheel goes round and round, and he just took the car and he was like, for like almost the whole time until the evaluation. The specialist had to take the car away because it's hard for him to transition from one activity to the other. Okay. Now that's where you see there's a disconnect in the time in understanding what they mean, or just just small things. It was like almost an hour of like them engaging, and then they want to see how they also communicate with you. So I had like a bunch of like snacks. And so I'm supposed to like hold them up, and the King needs to tell me what he wants, but then now he doesn't have language. He doesn't point actually. Kids at that age, even though they don't know how to talk, they will point
at something. This or that,
He doesn't know, so he would just like grab me and just like scream and scream and scream.
Because he's so frustrated. Because he cannot tell you like what he wants.
He doesn't know how to tell me what he wants. Though he knows what he wants, but he doesn't know how to put his point across. So that was the evaluation. We had to walk out for her to like assess her notes and everything. The whole time she was taking notes, and then now she called us back and she told us that he meets the criteria for ESD. I don't know, after that I just started crying, like because I just didn't know what now life is going to be like for him. After that I don't even remember what she said. She had to write things for me down because my emotions were all over the place. I didn't know what this diagnosis meant. Is he going to have a normal life like other kids? Is he going to go to a special needs school? I think all those things started coming to my mind, and funny enough I felt a sense of relief that I at least now know what is happening
and like what you're dealing with at this point.
Exactly. Because before that I was always in, is he or is he not, is he not, like I just needed that confirmation, and even that confirmation coming wasn't that easy, because now it's still hard. In as much as never had anyone who had,
or you've never interacted with anyone who's autistic, or
never had of a parent who has an autistic child. Like I didn't know what I was expecting. So it was a bit scary, fear of the unknown.
All right. So when the diagnosis was done, it was only you and King, or you had someone else with you?
The dad.
Oh, the dad was also
Yeah.
there. So it was like both of you.
Yeah.
How was it for him?
We, it's people are very different in how they receive information. Like me, when I was bawling my eyes out, he was just like, okay. Like it took a minute for also him to be able to like process what this means, look it up. I think we did take in the information very, very differently.
Yeah, that's true, because we are human, we are different.
Yeah.
I would even want to say that the way men react to situations and the way women react to situations is like totally different. Yes, like for us it is instant. You'll cry, you'll feel bad, you get yourself
you want
together.
to talk it out.
Yes,
and men
yes,
are just like to close themselves in a room.
Yeah, and deal with it by themselves. All right. So now you've known, you've gone home. When they do the assessment for you, do they give you options of like, or do they guide you like, this is now how you're supposed to raise him, or what kind of information do they give? Or they just diagnose and then now the rest is up to you? What happens?
Oh yeah. Okay. So when she told me that she had to like reassure me that it's nothing I have done, because at that time, honestly, you feel like, did I do something wrong? Or did I cause this? Or did I do something wrong when he was born? You kind of start feeling like, you looking back and feeling like maybe you would have changed something.
You critique every little thing. In pregnancy, you feel like there's something you would have done differently.
Masikukula mboga mingi, it's that one time I missed that pill.
The supplements. I know that supplements thing. It's just like those things are nasty.
I know.
Yeah.
So she was just like assuring me and telling me that it's not on me. It's nothing I did. Autism has never been found what causes it. Some children have it, some children don't have it. They kind of think it's the environment we live in, or maybe genetics, but it's nothing has been found to cause autism. She gave me a few resources, some write-ups to read, and she told me what kinds of therapies that I need to enroll for my son. And that was just about it. She gave me a link to some support group, and then that was it. That was it. And she told me she's gonna maybe see me in a few months, in 6 months, and
6 months from the time of the assessment.
Now it's on me to like take him for therapy, and school. And she really, really told me to take him to school. That he has seen that King is like a really fast learner, because even in the activities that she was doing there, King had never maybe done something and he would like pick up very fast.
Okay.
So he told me not to take him to a special needs school, that I should take him to a neurotypical or just a normal school, and that will help him learn from other children. And for sure it has helped.
Helped. Yeah. All right. So you get home. What's the first thing you disclose to your family? Like, I know as women, just as you said before, for us we have to talk. So there's that one person that you'll always call. Maybe it's your mom or your sister or your best friend. Or did you want to just process the information first before you talk to someone?
So when I got the information, funny enough, it's like, your mother just has these instincts. I don't know, she called me and she was just calling me to say hi. One time I was crying, and then she was like, oh, what's up? I was like, oh, King has autism, I've told his autism. And that's when I told her. Anyway, it was very hard because she also loves King and she's the grandma. And she was in a bit of denial. But I helped her understand. Like, you see, let's not be delusional. Let's call facts. Let's see. King has this problem. I was like, King has this problem. How he does this, how he does this, is very different. And if we do not accept this, we will have a 7-year-old who cannot articulate his words or has no control over his emotions. We have to like accept this and try to support him as early as now, because at the end of the day we were not getting those thoughts. I didn't get those thoughts because of nothing, it's because of something.
And you had even been telling them like before this diagnosis, like them, hey, you guys, there's just a way.
Okay. So I just had to help her learn and understand what autism means. And it's been a process even educating my whole family of what this means, because they also don't know and they also don't understand where is the exact different or how this affects his life.
What like this means for King.
And how to support him and how he does things and how to work around him. It was a journey, letting them know, but I just feel like right now it's way better.
It's way better. All right. Maybe what I would also like to know, and maybe some of the audience is also asking, looking back like at that season, especially of you finding out, and you've gone home, how were the 3 months, like first 3 months?
They were hard. I think the first 3 months I just spent researching and just looking things online and trying to really understand what this means and hearing other people's stories. I was like always on YouTube to like, see what other autistic children look like, what kind of challenges they have, what kinds of therapies, how these therapies are effective. I wanted to know how I could, implement those therapies at home. So at that point, I was feeling a bit low before I could I got the confidence and the knowledge to know that this is not as big as I am, as society makes it to feel. I don't know if I don't want to diminish it, but it's not.
You felt like it's something you can handle?
Yeah, and I also started feeling like this is something that we can handle, that we can work with. I need to accept my son the way he is. This is what makes him different. And it doesn't mean that he's in any way going to... It doesn't mean he's not going to lead a good life. He's not going to follow his passions. He's not going to be able to make friends. Even if he wants, he's not going to not have a family if he wants, or children, or have a spouse or anything. I now understood that that's not what it means.
Okay. Because initially you're feeling like it's a death sentence. Like, this is it.
Exactly.
Like, what's going to happen to him? He will not have friends. He will not have to lead a normal life.
Yes.
How will he cope in school and all that?
Life and school. Will he get to university? Will he do this? That's what I was thinking. And then I realized that no, the kids who are autistic and they're very successful. So
did you have a nanny at this point?
Who
was taking care of King, and how did you have to readjust?
My nanny always, as much as toddlers are always toddlers, I felt like she was really getting, how do I say this? King can be a handful. I always say, like, there's a neurotypical child, normal behavior, and then there is an autistic child who has the same traits, also the same behaviors as a neurotypical child, but I feel like it's so much more work because you cannot be able to tell them, ntakuchapa, you can't even...
because you can't communicate as effectively.
Exactly.
Yeah, like, stop what you're doing and all that.
And not everyone understands that. So I always feared leaving my nanny with my child for long hours. Like, I would just go maybe 2 hours and then I'd come back because I'd be like, hey, this one will choke her, this one will beat my child.
That's the thing, because the beating bit of it.
Yeah. It's always so hard, especially now that I know he's autistic. Let me tell you, it's been hard to leave that responsibility to someone. And I had to sit down with my nanny and tell her, this is what King, you see, now I have to explain to her, you see now how King is always like this, and you always ask this question. So he has this condition, and he's not able to do this and this and this and this. And still, I didn't feel like she really understood what was it, because later on, I imagine being told that they go outside and all what she was doing was like slapping my child when my child like maybe steps into water. Alikuwa anamchapa. It was so sad.
And then you've already explained, so you're thinking why
let me just tell you, like having a good nanny is like a miracle. Like it was so heartbreaking for me to hear that, and especially knowing that my child cannot defend themselves. They can't have,
and it's not their mistake because they can't comprehend what you're trying to tell them.
And even though they could, what's the point with jumping in water?
Like in puddles, it's normal child behavior.
It's normal child behavior. It's normal child behavior. Whether you are neurotypical or you are autistic, kids will always do something.
Yeah, we did the same things back then. Yeah.
So it was hard. It was a journey.
Sorry about that. And that's why I really asked the nanny question, because I know there are many parents who are like in similar situations and they're battling with the same thing. And of course, needless to say, you have to let the nanny go. Yeah. And you finding another one. So is it been like a consistent streak of you having to educate them? Yeah. And then they go, then you find another one.
I never get tired.
Yeah.
Because let me tell you, as much as I revolve my work around home, I can't do everything by myself.
Yeah.
I can't. Yeah. I will need a break. I will need to go get my hair done. I will need to go do things. I have realized that I will not lie to myself. I will need help, especially in the housework and whatever. So it's always been that consistent. I need to sit down with this nanny, train them, talk to them. This is how my child is and whatever, and all those things. I feel like I will never get tired of explaining. And even though they are not right by me, I will let them go. I have decided that I'm not going to get tired.
That's the thing. I think as a mother, you cannot give up. You cannot even tire. Because you have to give your kid the best. I mean, and it is sort of your responsibility to take care of your child. I mean, you brought them to this earth. They're young. They cannot defend themselves. And then it becomes your sole responsibility. Right. So you've told us that the person who's doing your assessment, the development specialist, told you that King now needs to go to like a normal school. There's no point of taking him to a special school. How was the search like for you now when he got to the age of him going to school?
Funny enough, I had already had a school in mind. And just when I got the diagnosis, I had already reached to that school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I had a school in mind. Then he was not. I feel like nowadays people take kids to school like very early. Like I have a friend who took their baby to play group at 10 months. 10 months. Okay. I feel like nowadays, you can take your baby to daycare. I didn't feel like there was it's only up to you. You're the one who knows like when they are ready or when you want to put them, because it's not like formal school where they have
they're just going to play, interact.
Yeah, exactly.
And how is he coping in school?
He loves school. The first few days were a challenge. I also had to tell his teachers about the diagnosis, because King, like we said, he doesn't listen to instructions. So when it's time for sitting down, he doesn't get that. He's just like wondering like where the toys are at. Or when they're supposed to be inside the class, he's wondering why we inside, we need to go out. The first few weeks the teacher was like, it was very difficult, but funny enough, King has gotten the routine. And now the teacher tells me that if they are late for something, they will know, because King knows the routine. Like he knows inside time and outside time.
So anytime there's like a period adjustment, he's like what's happening? We're supposed to be outside or we're supposed to be inside.
When they start thinking being fussy, they look at the time like, oh my god, we're so late for break. that's why King is very fussy, because he knows he's not supposed to be here.
How does he take his assessments? Just the same like as the neurotypical kids, or
In playgroup, there's nothing much.
Yeah.
Maybe they will just be like, okay, does your kid take instructions? They'll tick for you there, has a bit of challenges, or yes, or actually no. That's what the assessment is like at that playgroup. They really assess like their behavior. And now, since it's like potty training session, they'll be like, King does not have a way of communicating that he wants to go to the potty, or he has a dirty diaper. He has no way to communicate. So those are the kind of assessments, but in playgroup is just play.
I wanted to ask the financial implications of it, like of having an autistic child, because I know they probably need a bit more care. How is that like for you?
It really does have a financial implication, because if he was neurotypical, he would, I don't think I would have considered playgroup this early, because we would be just home, maybe learning from toys and activities just from home until he gets to that appropriate age to go to school, like not appropriate, like the required age to go to school. But yeah, there's that expense, and then there's expense where you have to add money for therapy. He does occupational therapy in school, so there's also money for therapy and buying materials. Now I'm really very intentional in like buying learning materials home, where we just like talk about, we learn things from home. Yeah, there is a financial implication.
Do you think there's something that can be done, especially when it comes to the education system, just to make it a bit more affordable, especially for parents with autistic kids or any other forms of children like who need support and help? Because I feel like for the neurotypical kid, there's a lot of options. But I feel then for these other kids, then there's not that much option. So it's either you have it or you don't have it, and yeah,
definitely. I feel like the government should factor in neurodiversity and factor in that children are very different and their learning styles are very, very different, and also give, how do I say, affordable learning, especially for neurodiverse children, because we all do pay taxes. We all, help this country in one way or another. I feel like there should be a way that the government like strategically helps.
I just want to move a bit, probably away from King and what you have to do for him. Initially, as we were just having a discussion before we started the shoot, you said you no longer do an 8 to 5 job. Did the situation like of maybe King being autistic inform that decision, or you just transitioned into it?
I just transitioned, moving from an 8 to 5 to now just revolving my work around home.
Do you have like a support group for moms or parents who are in a similar situation?
No, I don't have a support group.
Okay, so you wing it.
I wing it because I felt like, I don't know, ASD is such a controversial topic, and there's really a lot of misinformation.
Yeah, true.
And even going into that community, and even parents who have children with autism still believe these misconceptions. I feel like I didn't want to be in the midst of that misinformation, or that blaming things that you have done to leading to however your child is like. I just felt like there's a lot of misinformation, and I don't think I'm ready to
just be part of that.
Be part of it.
All right. So what does Wendy do to take care of herself away from raising King? I know that is like a full-time job, but then like how do you take care of yourself? Because I know it can be overwhelming. And you can get tired. It is human to just be exhausted and all that. How do you take care of yourself then? Like, what do you do for fun? Self-care.
I do love taking walks in Karura. I feel like those people already know me because I'm always there a lot. I enjoy going for runs and just taking walks to take a breather. Sometimes, it's so hard because even, children with autism have issues with sleep. I have never.
Oh yeah, I see you like
felt,
even talking about it like on your social media page that King is not sleeping. It's like midnight or it's 1. Yeah.
So that's my life, and sometimes either way, I do appreciate the season of life that I'm in, because if I had an 8 to 5, how would I even function? We have rough times at night. I feel like at night is when like God really tests my patience. Like, are you, because we wake up a lot. Like last night we woke up 3 times, and it's hard because you always think, when will this end? When will I have a good night's rest? When will I wake up and feel like, oh God, yes, I've rested. So taking those walks and just like leaving the nanny with the baby for that hour or 2 helps a lot. And also making friends. I love making new mom friends, and also seeing how that life is like, because even if you're neurotypical, I feel like there are also challenges that maybe your motherhood is showing you. I feel like meeting new friends and just hanging out with my friends, especially who are mothers, helps me like get into insights and think, okay, everyone has challenges.
Okay. This is, I think, a bit personal, but I would just want to know, do you at some point feel like you have some maybe resentment, or especially when now you're relating to parents with neurotypical children, do you sometimes feel like you wish it would have been different for you?
I've gotten to that point where I think I've accepted, because I'd be with a parent who's like, my child won't shut up. Wanaongea tu, and then me, I'm there thinking, I wish my child would just talk. I know. So I've gotten to that point where I'm like, I am fully accepting of my child and who they are, and I feel like I'm in a very, very good space in terms of like the whole autism and the diagnosis. I feel like I know for sure that the future is like really, 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 really bright.
What do you think neurotypical parents can do to support you guys better in terms of maybe being more understanding, being a bit more tolerant? Like,
well, just to, I feel like when your friend or anyone comes to you and gives you their thoughts, or maybe they're thinking that child is probably like this, don't be the first to negate or just like invalidate the thoughts that they have. At the end of the day, I like saying that professionals may know things, or people might have thoughts, but you live with that child and you know how they are. I will not know because I don't live with that child. So give that parent the benefit of doubt. I encourage them to go get assessed. And even when someone comes and tells you, oh, my child is autistic, don't be the first to say, attack. You might be thinking you're saying something great, but it's also very, very hurtful. Because at the end of the day, you have struggled for you to pick yourself up and go to the hospital and get evaluated and even do the assessment. It takes a lot. It takes a lot. And for you to just say, attack, it's not a compliment, by the way. It's not a compliment, because children with autism don't look like they have autism. Some don't look like they have autism. And just because someone is different, they don't have to look like they are different. I think that's what people need to know. Someone might be walking around here and the way they have sensory issues, or they can't even be able to understand their emotions, all over the place. I feel like it's something that people need to take into account. Yeah.
Do you think if someone would have told you, I could be, maybe I'm a parent, I would say, if I see something that is out of the ordinary, would you feel offended if someone told you that, okay, how comes your child is like 2 years and they're not talking? Or because sometimes I feel like those conversations are difficult to have, and they're quite sensitive. So yes, like someone could be seeing there's an issue, but they don't know how to really bring it up to you.
Yeah. Man.
Or is it preferable to just let it be, like?
Well, I don't know. That is because people are so different. You
Like
might
for
tell
you as
someone
Wendy,
and they would be like, oh yeah, I was also thinking about that. Thank you for putting it out. We'll get check. And then someone be like,
why are you
what do
saying that
know?
about my child? Yeah.
What do you mean?
Yeah. So it kind of puts people on the fence because it's
Exactly.
like you don't know how to even behave around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I feel like maybe you just also evaluate, like you already know the person. Like if I really know you, then I know how you would probably take such a comment. Or if you're someone who's like, uptight, I would maybe not say it. But I just feel like I don't know. It's a dilemma.
It's a mixed feelings up here. Yeah.
Because people are so different, and the last thing you want to do is offend someone. And also, children are very different. There's some children who have like major like speech delay, but they don't have ESD.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah. I feel like that's a very sensitive thing to bring up.
It's very sensitive. But in any chance that friend comes and points something across, encourage to go get an assessment.
You can just tell them go get an assessment or something of the sort. Yeah.
To get your...
All right. So maybe as we even wrap up, maybe you can just tell us. You mentioned that you have a business. Like is something that you're doing?
No,
not really. It is not yet running yet. All right. So if people want to get educated on autism, I know you share a lot on your social media handle. Maybe you can just let us know so that we can put it there and someone who might want to reach out. And even now that you're in the content creation space, I know maybe there are people who would want to maybe do some promotions or just awareness about autism, and they can reach out to you so that my team then can be able to capture your social media handle.
So you can find me on Instagram at Wendy Gachara. I make Wendy_Gachara. I make lots of content around motherhood, and I also touch on a lot about ASD and how raising my son is like, and also like really dedicate a lot of my time on that platform to share awareness and acceptance about autism, and lots of other fun content. I also like to do makeup and beauty stuff, so you can follow me on there.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. And we wrap up this session. This is Triple N Network, and I am Nifa Nyamongo on Instagram. I am at nifa.nyamongo on Facebook, Nifa Nyamongo. On YouTube, Triple N Network. Thank you so much for you guys just staying here and watching this episode. And I hope that you have learned a thing or two. I know at least I have learned something. And the one thing that I'm really I've really learned throughout this interview is that sometimes we take things for granted. For example, just the ability to stay away from your child the whole day, the ability to go to an 8 to 5 job. Like there are people who are sacrificing this not because they want to, but because circumstances have really put them in that space. And I think also the other thing is just that, just Wendy alluded to it and even mentioned that having a good nanny is difficult. And most of the time, the responsibility of caring for a child is left on the mother. So let us just give them as much support as possible. If you can help a mother, like give them 2 hours away, sit with their child as she goes and takes care of herself, please do. If you're a friend to a parent who has an autistic child or even any other disability, just be there, support them emotionally, physically, do some 2 things for them just so that they can have an hour or 2 away from that space which they are in every day. Thank you so much for tuning in, and subscribe. The subscribe button will be somewhere here. Yes, so subscribe to our channel so that you can get to learn more about motherhood, about fatherhood, just basically about parenting, because we'll be sharing a lot more content around this. Thank you so much, and see you next week.